Alright, so welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about typecasting. What is typecasting in C Sharp? So first, we're going to see the type. What is a type? What we mean by type? Type is like a data type. Say, for example, we have an int, we have a float, we have a double. These all are data types. Typecasting, the type we mean by data type. So we have an int, float, short, byte, whatever you guys going to see in the data types. And then what is cast? A cast is an instruction to the compiler to let you treat one data type as another type. The type must be compatible. For example, you can cast a floating point number to an integer number, but you cannot cast a number to a string. This is called cast. So we have two type of typecasting in C Sharp. That's the first one is going to be the implicit. The second one is going to be the explicit. Or you can see vice versa, explicit or implicit. So there's two types. In normal English dictionary, what we mean by say implicit. Implicit describes something that has been implied, meaning it has been suggested or hinted but not actually directly stated or expressed. For example, saying we had implicit agreement means that the agreement was implied but never actually stated or written down. It means it's in simple words, it means it's indirect. So what is explicit? Explicit, it describes something that has been expressed directly. For example, saying we gave the explicit instruction, meaning that the instructions were stated in details. So sometime you guys going to see that people say I gave you explicit instruction, or this is explicit order or something like that. So explicit is direct. It's in simple words. You can see this one is direct. That's in normal English dictionary. So but what about because we are learning a C Sharp, and C Sharp is a programming language, so we want to learn in a computer way what we mean by implicit. So we're going to describe in this video about the explicit typecasting, and the next video we're going to talk about explicit typecasting. Alright, so as I said before, it is also possible to convert a variable of one type into another type. The prerequisite is, of course, that it has to fit in terms of the content. An integer variable can always be converted into float variables. The reverse only can work if the float number has no comma value. To conduct a process on variables that belongs to different types, you should convert one of those variables first. When converting a type, simply enter the target type in parentheses before the value to be converted. So we're going to show you guys shortly how we're going to enter that into parentheses. So C Sharp can convert between instances of compatible types. A conversion always creates a new value from an existing one. So implicit in computer programming, it means that our code, we do not need to do anything. So what we mean by implicit conversion in programming. So implicit conversions are allowed well if both of the there is two conditions. Of when both of them are true. So the first one is the compiler can guarantees that they always going to be succeed. The compiler guarantees that it's going to be always going to succeed. And what's the second one? The no information is lost on conversion. So you can say no loss. There's if these two conditions are met, then we can say this is implicit. So what about the explicit? Say for example, explicit conversion. Implicit conversion are required when one of the following is true. The first one is going to be the compiler cannot guarantee that they can always succeed. So there is no guarantee. If this is say can be met, then information might be lost during conversion. So this one is always going to be implicit. One is always going to succeed, and there is no loss. And here the compiler cannot guarantee that they will always succeed. And the second one is the information might be lost during conversion. So this is a loss of info. No loss of info here. And the second one, the implicit one, the compiler guarantees is going to succeed. Alright, so I'm going to put it down. The first one is implicit and the second one is explicit. So it's up to you. You want to put the first one explicit and the second one implicit, it doesn't matter. But the first one is the compiler is going to guarantee, and there is not going to be loss of info. So if this two is correct, then it's going to be implicit. So any of this is if any of this is true, there is then this one explicit conversion are required. So I'm going to put I here. Say if the compilers cannot guarantee that your code is always going to succeed, then we require this one. And in implicit conversions, we're gonna widen conversion. So implicit conversions are known as widening conversion. What do we mean by widening conversion? Because we're converting from a smaller type to a larger type. Say for example, if we have a byte, then we go up, then we go towards a short. Say for example, then we go up, then we go towards int, we go up. So after that it's going to be long, and then it's going to be float, and then it's going to be double. So this is implicit because we're going to widen the conversion. We go from say byte, which is 8-bit, then we go short, then we go int, then we go float, long, float, and double, because we're going to widen the conversion. This is called implicit conversion. So what is the explicit conversion? Explicit conversion are narrowing conversion. So explicit ones are narrowing. So think of this the other way around. Say for example, now we're going to narrow, we're going to start from double, then we're going to move towards float, then we're going to go towards a long, then int, then short, then byte. So this is explicit conversion, and as we said, the explicit conversions are narrowing. We're going to go from the big data type all the way towards say byte, which is 8-bit. That's explicit. And explicit one are required when one of the say two of the conditions are true. The first one is the compiler cannot guarantee that they always be succeed, so there is no guarantee. If this one's true, our the second one, which information might be lost during conversion, loss of info. So that's what we require, this one, explicit conversions. So we're going to talk about the implicit casting. Say for example, now we have here, say we have an int, and we call it num, for example, and our int is going to be, say for example, 10. Alright, so now how are we going to put this int, say for example, to double? Now here, if you look in here, we're going from int to double here. So if you're putting from int, because it's the same, there is no way you guys gonna say lose data, because it's impossible, because both of them are the same type. So now we have double, and we say double num, for example. And what happens with the double num, and we're gonna put this int num, for example. If I can call this int num, I'm gonna put it int num. So what happens if I assign this int num, and you're gonna see this one is gonna be 10. And you saw that one here, that it's impossible. We are not going to lose any data here. So if we put this one, say for example, now if I put a console.writeLine, okay, so the first one I'm going to put an int num, and the second one I'm going to put a say double num. I'm going to put a console dot write line, and I'm going to put a double num. So now we're going to see if we lose any data. So now the first one is that we have data type int, we call it int num, we assign 10, and now we have double, we call it double num, and we assign this int num. We're going to see if our database here, which is we had the first one is going to be say int, and we're going to convert it to double if we're going to lose any data. For example, you can put any other number, you can put 100, 200, doesn't matter, as long as you guys understand the concept that that's all it's all about. So here we're going to run our program. Alright, so our program has executed, and you guys are gonna look here. In the first one, we have int num, and we assign it 10, and now we have double num. We have assigned this int num, and you guys might be thinking that we're gonna lose data. No, we did not lose anything, because here it's 10. The first one int num is 10, and the second one double num is also 10, because we assigned this int num to double num. So that's what is, we have a 10 10. You guys going to see here that during the process there was no loss of data, and the compiler guaranteed. This is the main argument here for the implicit one, is that because the compiler guarantees that there is no loss of data. This is called implicit typecasting. And there is another one, keep in mind, you guys going to see every now and then, is called inferred types. Inferred types is also implicit conversion. Say for example, now we have seen implicit conversion. There is this guys here. Inferred types are also implicit conversion, so implicit typecasting. So what is implicit? Say C#, let us declare, initialize local variables without specifying a type. You must do this using the var keyword instead of the defined type. Say for example, instead of double or int, now in this case we have used int, we can just put a var. So you can put a var keyword. If you guys done JavaScript, we can use this var in JavaScript. Var stands for variable. So var, for example, we have just a num, var num, and we can assign, say for example, 500 for example. So now looking here, the reason we're getting this one, because we are not using this one, but here you see C# going to be pretty much fine with this. Say for example, so now if you put a console, and if I put a double tap, I'm getting this one, so my error has gone away. So you're looking here, I'm using just var, and I'm assigning 500 to this one. So say for example, you guys can put a, say, var, put a second var, for example, second num for example, and this one you guys can assign, say, 400, no problem. And here you guys can put a console, and you guys gonna see here that the C# has completed for the second num. So as I said, here there is we have an option in C# is called to declare our variable like a var. This is called inferred types. This is also implicit conversion. Sometimes you guys go and see that the implicit conversion, people mentioned here the var. So it's a var keyword. You guys can do that with your local variables here. So in this case, the data type of this variable is only determined when the first value is assigned. Then the compiler decides which data type is the right one, and defines it. Any further assignment that would require a different type then leads to an error. Say for example, if you have say this num is equal to 500, then you guys can put the num again to say hello, for example. That's what we mean. Then now the C# is going to be extremely furious, because you guys cannot put this num to this string here, because it's a literal string. It's totally opposite. As we said here, if you are doing this one, you guys going to go from short to, say, double. You guys can do it this way, but we cannot put the different type, because now num, we have int. It's a data type int. Even though we put a var, we did not put any int like the top ones, like this ones here, we put an int, but in the second instance here we just put a var. And C# automatically converts this one, thinks this one, because here now we put a integer, and the C# thinks this one is integer. It's not going to put a string here. And you guys, as you guys see here, you guys going to get error. So how about here, we're going to put this one as like a float here. We put a 400 type 10. Do we get any error? As you guys see here, no, we are not getting any error. We can put another one, say for example var. We can put a, say, hello, or we can put a str for a string, and we can put a say good morning, for example, our welcome to my channel, something like that. So the reason you guys see here, because we haven't used this variable here, so we can put this guy here. As you guys see, faint gray, the C# suggesting to use this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to tap double, we're going to press the tab twice, and we're going to get this one. So now here you guys see here that we are using var with integer, with say float, and with string. And you guys see here we are not putting like here, we are not putting int, we are not putting double. This is called inferred types in C#. So inferred types are types that you guys can use it with the var keyword, and this is one of the ways with the implicit conversion. You guys can do this, because in the database there is no way you guys gonna lose data. The C# guarantees this data. There is not going to be data loss. So for example, now if we run, we are not going to see any different to this one. So it's automatic here inside the compiler. So implicit types are also called say automatic types. Say in the implicit ones is everything happens automatically. Alright, so here, if you guys looking here, that's the first one that we have used. So I'm gonna bring this one here, and now if you look here, the first ones, as we said, that this implicit ones, implicit casting is gonna be automatic. So it's automatically the database, the compiler has automatically converted from int to double without any data loss. And in our inferred data types, as we have seen, is also automatic. Here we have put it here, var with the var keyword. We put a name, we put a 500. You guys going to see 500 400.1, even though we didn't put any int or double or string here. As you guys see here, that the C# executing this one with flawlessly without any problem. And now I'm gonna put a, say for example, object array. Now you guys gonna see here the last ones. Say for example, you guys can use this one with the object, and we put an array here, and we put a say new, for example, new obj, for example. And what we're gonna assign, we're going to assign whatever we have typed. Say for example, we put a num, and then we put a second num, and then the last one we put a str to see what we get. And here we have a typo. Okay, so now we have a typo here. So we're going to see here now all these types here. So now as you guys seen, this is also inferred type. So now if you guys put a console new obj, so dot right line, where is this new obj? Because the name that we provided to this array here, we already know what array is. We have initialized our array here, but we want to see here, we want to see these guys here. So we're gonna hit Control S to save, and we're gonna run our program. Okay, so now the last one here, as you guys seen here, we are not getting any error in the inferred types, inferred casting our inferred types, whatever you guys gonna want to call it. So here var, we put a num 500, we're still getting 500 400.1 good morning. And here the system.object, here we are putting this one, all of them is going to be object here. See here, our program run flawlessly. We have no problem, because we all put a var with we didn't put an int or float our say for example double our string. We just put all these, and here we put our array, and here this says system.object. This because this is object. So this is called implicit data types here in C#. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.